You are not unmotivated, you are overstimulated. Have you noticed how hard it has become to focus lately? Not just on work, on anything. You sit down to do something important, and within minutes, your brain wants to escape. You check your phone, open another tab, watch one more video, refresh Instagram, think about 10 different things at once. And by the end of the day, you feel exhausted, even though you barely moved forward. Most people think this is laziness. I don't think it is. I think a lot of people today are mentally overstimulated to the point where their brain no longer knows how to stay still. And the scary part is the lifestyle has become normal. We wake up and immediately consume something notifications, reels, news, messages, podcasts, music, screens, opinions, noise. There is almost no silence left anymore. And because of that, our brain never fully rests. But here's the strange thing, even when we take a break, we don't actually slow down. We just switch forms of stimulation. We call it relaxing, but most of the time we are still consuming, still scrolling, still distracting ourselves, still feeding our brain one more information. And eventually the mind becomes so overloaded that even simple tasks start feeling emotionally heavy. That's why so many people today struggle with consistency, not because they are incapable, not because they lack ambition, but because their nervous system is tired. And nobody really talks about this part. We keep trying to fix ourselves with more motivation, more productivity videos, more routines, more self improvement content. But sometimes the real problem is that your brain has not experienced genuine mental quietness in months, maybe even yours. And when your brain becomes addicted to constant stimulation, silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Stillness feels boring, focus feels difficult, deep work feels painful. So we escape again. Not always because we are lazy, but because distraction temporarily protects us from discomfort. That's why overstimulation is dangerous. It doesn't just steal your attention, it slowly weakens your ability to tolerate reality without escape. You start needing constant input just to feel normal. And over time, this affects everything: your discipline, your creativity, your emotional stability, your confidence, even your ability to make decisions. Because a distracted brain struggle to build momentum, and honestly, I think a lot of people secretly know this. That's why so many of us consume motivation every day but still feel stuck. We are flooding the mind with information without giving ourselves enough space to actually process life. And eventually, your brain stops feeling clear. It just feels noisy. But here's the good news: your attention can recover, your focus can recover, your mental clarity can also recover. But not through intensity, through reduction, less noise, less unnecessary input, less endless scrolling, less mental clutter. Because something growth is not about adding more. Sometimes it's about removing what's constantly draining your mind. And I know this sounds simple, but try noticing how uncomfortable silence feels now. Try sitting without touching your phone for even 10 minutes. For a lot of people that already feels difficult. That's not weakness, that's just conditioning. Your brain has been trained to expect stimulation every few seconds, which means rebuilding focus is going to feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is not always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes it's a sign that your mind is finally slowing down enough to hear itself again. And maybe that's what many people actually need right now. No more inspiration, not another motivational quote, just fewer escapes. Because your life probably doesn't need more stimulation, it needs more presence. And maybe you are not unmotivated after all. Maybe your mind is simply overwhelmed from carrying too much noise for too long. And maybe healing your focus starts with protecting your attention like it actually matters, because it does. I'll see you in the next episode of The Voice of Becoming.